Hello, everyone, and welcome to a badass and bold edition of the Fans of Power podcast. With us, as always, is the King of Customs, Joe Amato, Rotten Amato. He goes by many, many names in the community there. Mr. WrestleMania 17, Nasty Nate Kennedy. And the brand new Clash of Arms himself there, yours truly. We're here to get you excited, get in the mood, get your nipples erect about Masters of the Universe. You know, that's our mission statement here, is to make the nipples hard. You know, if we're not doing that, then we're clearly not doing our job here.
Yeah, it's always cold in this room, so mine are naturally always like that. But otherwise, yes, I like doing it. You got to get them pumped. You got to get everybody excited. Like this. First, I wanted to say thanks to Nathan. He sent me a brand new stand. I didn't even know what it was. I got it in the mail, and I took it out, and I didn't see the instructions. That just shows how stupid I am, because I was like, Joe, how complicated can a fucking stand be? Because I opened, I was like, what is this thing? And I seen another thing. It's like, I don't want to break it. But then I looked, there was instructions, and it said pull out. And so I spread them open, and bam, now you can put it here, and it sticks real tight. So this is great, but this is my old one. Like I said, this is from the Dollar Tree. And, well, it was for picture frames. So, yeah, I got to retire it. I feel bad, though. I've had this for, what, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years? I don't like seeing it go, but Nathan, I appreciate you.
Well, of course you're welcome. And I know that people in the chat would be like, Nathan, why'd you do that? I love the part when Joe would knock his shit over. But the whole thing...
It'll still happen.
The whole thing, though, is like, sometimes he would knock it over and it's fine. And then sometimes he would knock it over and just disconnect from the call. And then most of the time that would happen when it's just me and Joe doing the show. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just sort of talk to everybody until he gets back in here. How's it going? And it's just weird. So yeah. I'm like... It's $10. I'm going to buy him a stand so that it won't move and go anywhere anymore. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's super secure. It's the only way I can have it. I told Nathan is when I get animated with my hands, which I have to do. I've done that my whole life. Is if I move and hit this cord, that's the only way it'll knock off. Otherwise, it's nice and secure, so it's sitting there. And I was going to quickly say hello to everybody in the chat room and then something to Tyler, but I want to say hello to Adam Gabbert, Andy Yowzy, Curtis Ackerman, Daniel Carhoonen, Darth Baca, Fedmon, Grim2, or Grimbot, why did I say Grim2? Jason Havlick, Michael Purvis, Zen Brown, Zentron, and I know I've seen JSP here earlier. I don't know if he'll pop back in, so that's everybody that I've seen in the chat room, and if I missed anybody, I apologize. But, yeah, I was checking in the Fans of Power Facebook group, and I seen a post by Tyler. And Tyler, you can mention how you were first introduced to the Christmas special for Masters of the Universe, which leads to something that I wanted to bring up. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, which was December of 89, and it was a bumper or promo for the He-Man Shira Christmas special in Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol, which was a favorite of mine. From childhood also. So I had never seen the Christmas special on Mr. Magoo on TV before, and the He-Man Christmas special I had never heard of, and I about lost my shit because it showed Snout Spout putting the star on the tree. That was the single image that was burned in my brain from that one bumper promo that I saw from 89. I never forgot that image, and that was the one thing I always hoped I would see again. And I actually spoke to my mom. I went and visited her today, and I told her that I had made that post because I've called her out on things like that before. And of course, she laughs about it. And
did you tell her what I said?
Well, she's like, "Did you tell him that I had to get you up super early in the morning because I had to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning?" And I was like, "No, I'm not going to tell them that." And, you know, but I did tell her what you said too. But she was like, "You make sure that when you're telling people that I denied you things when you were a child, because I had good reason to." Like, yeah.
She didn't want to go girls being bad on the show because Tyler was like, yeah, I couldn't see it though because I had to go to bed, and get ready for school. But I think you said you're 5 years old. You had to get it for kindergarten.
Yeah, I was in kindergarten. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I couldn't stay up to watch Who's the Boss when it would come on at 8 o'clock. I'm like, nope.
So,
right there.
I felt so bad.
Because even when I was that age, my bedtime wasn't that early. I think in kindergarten, my bedtime was 9 o'clock.
I think I was 9.
No.
I was going to say mine was 9. I was 9. I was like, damn it, Tyler couldn't have at least one special Christmas moment, an early gift from his mom to say, okay, you can watch this one. It's like the poor kid couldn't watch it.
It would get to where I would get more lenience, as I got a little bit older in elementary school, if a Van Damme was on and Dad would watch it with us or something like that. But that particular time period, it wasn't, even when Clash of the Titans came on on TBS in 1988, and I saw it for the first time. I couldn't wait to see Medusa, but as soon as he kills Medusa and holds it up to the sky to let the gods know that he won, Mom said, "All right, the movie's over." I'm like, "What? Are you sure, Mom?" She's like, "Yeah, the movie's over." And it was just a way of getting me to go to bed because I had daycare the next day. And when I rented it, I'm like, I knew it wasn't over. I wouldn't call her out on it when I was a kid. To this day, I like to remind her that she denied me seeing the Kraken and fighting the Scorpions and defeating Calabas. It was just, I never forgot those thoughts. And the He-Man Christmas special was always one of those, that and Clash of the Titans, that my mom denied me because of bedtime.
Yeah, my bedtime was 9 up until middle school, and then they bumped it up to 10. And then when Nitro went to 3 hours, and it would end at 11, I was like, you gotta let me stay up until 11. And by that point, I already had a TV in my room anyway, so it's kind of like, what were they gonna do? Because I would just stay awake and watch that, and then it would. Well,
in the summertime, there wasn't a whole lot of structure, at least to a certain degree, but during the school year, because it was such a pain in the ass to get me and my brother both up and get us to the babysitter in the morning or get us up and running for school, it was a battle neither my mom or dad were eager to have the next morning. So, it's, unless it was the summertime, it had to be something like particular, like, begging to watch a match on Raw. That was like the main event back when Raw was just an hour or something like that. It didn't happen that often.
But Yokozuna and Shawn Michaels, come on, Mom, please.
Yeah, I had, and my mom let me stay up to watch that main event because, like, I got to see it, Mom. So
that's
one
great.
of the few times where
I did tell Tyler, I was like, the thing is, I was like, his mom did a really cool, a while back, for those that you maybe never seen it, he'll have to show sometime. His mother drew Orko on a rock. And do you have that around you? Because I think that was so.
I just happen to have it sitting right here.
I just thought it was so damn cool. Little to your other direction.
To your right. Oh, nope. A little bit to the right there.
Right there. I just thought it was cool. So I said, you know what? Could you ask your mom? I don't know if you did. I was like, see if she can make a rock on rock for me. I'd love to have that as like.
I mentioned it to her. I forgot to mention it today, but I have mentioned to her in the past, and I mean, I don't think she's done any painting this year, or at least this fall, because normally when they come back from the lake and they stay back in town, that's when she kind of picks up her painting rocks. And but I know she wasn't opposed to doing it because she's done a few others for me that I have in my den there too. So I just got to remind her about doing it. And maybe if I could talk her into doing like doing one for you, and we could do one we could give away on the show or something like that too.
That'd be cool.
It's just like a fun little, I mean, I hope someone just doesn't get it and like throws it in the damn corner like, it's a rock from a podcast. So stop listening because they won't stop shitting on the new product.
Well, if they get a rock, this is the best thing. They get a 2-for-1. They get the rock, and then they could get the stand to hold the fucking rock on. How great would that be?
Look, we don't want to insult the listeners now, Joe.
That's so cool. You get Joe's standing there.
That's a piece of history, Tyler. Like you can own the thing that like caused Joe to drop his tablet countless times on the podcast.
Hopefully, it won't drop her
Jim
rock.
Mint 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She puts the rock on, falls over. But shoot. So that's the quick little thing we're doing right here at the beginning. But before we get to
we may have to, because Nathan has not sat down and watched it. We may have to revisit the Christmas special this year and do a watch along with that, like as our episode right before Christmas this year or something like that.
Yeah, because we've I think we covered that before, and we avoided it for a couple years because we went to other Christmas stories, like some of the stuff from the UK magazines.
But, I mean, yeah, it's but I mean, like I know people have asked before, like, well, we did it a while back. I don't think people gave a shit when we did it back then. People didn't give a shit about a lot of things we did back in the day. What the hell's wrong with you people?
To have Nathan's perspective is always cool.
But that's always the good thing about. I mean, not that we don't have something else to say about it, but. I was thinking about it today, like just making that post. I thought, it's something we could probably throw out and just make the last episode before Christmas is a brand new commentary on the Christmas special, and I don't know, maybe throw in I don't know, maybe a frosted discussion. Well, I don't even have it if we have time for it.
We would have to like just do, because I was looking through, and you guys did the Return of Orko's Uncle, but that was all the way back at like episode 115, so that's been a while. I know it's been a couple of years since we did it. I definitely wasn't here to to talk about that. And you guys got to think out there, the first 50 episodes were strictly audio, so there's a lot of topics in there that haven't been revisited since then either. So it's always nice to
we didn't do it back then we did character discussions on Roboto and Manny Faces.
Fisto, I think, right?
Fisto was one of those two. We did a He-Man discussion, I think, back then.
I wasn't even part of the Fisto one, was I? Was that one of the episodes?
Yeah, that's one. I was stuck with the also great Ozone and his podcasting. He's like the Mike Francesa of podcasting.
So we have a lot of stuff, like we said, we're revisiting. So this time, since we have 2 topics we're revisiting, because like I said, Nathan's perspective, his perspective.
I don't recall us ever having a discussion on Dylamug, though. I don't know what Grimbot's talking about. We've talked about him, but we never devoted a segment.
And I looked it up too, and there was nothing in the episode titles that had Dylamug in it. So I know that character has been just like hints of it tossed around, but I don't know where Grimm's coming from.
I know Grimbot thinks he created this podcast. Like he created
us
else,
too. By the way,
he created us too. Like I am made in his image. If you want to know what he looks like me.
Son of a bitch. We'll have to see
he's got
what he
Nathan's
says
intensity and Joe's. Joe's correcting
insanity.
Skills,
Insanity.
He's got everything else that
his cravings for Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
I think that's all for me.
There's a little bit of Deuce in all of us here.
Yeah, I think the food gimmick is probably maybe all me. So, but yeah, I think the first thing we'll touch, we will do the return of Orko's uncle, and then we'll save Dylamug for last, so we can see what Grimbot will have to babble about. But yeah, so however you want to start it, and of course Tyler loves doing the cue and the countdown. Nathan, you always let everybody know about where to click and the links.
Well, I mean, you already told them. It's in the description down below. The link is there. Go ahead.
There you go.
Go ahead and load that up as I read you a couple things before we get digging into it here. Give you a little bit.
Are you reading from the Old Testament or the New Testament?
I'm assuming this is the New Testament, the skinny paperback.
You're going to save the Old Testament for afterwards, correct?
Oh, no, the skinny paperback. That's the Old Testament.
Well, this is the Old Testament.
I thought you were going to save it for after that.
No, well, the thing I'm going to say for after is James's review of said episode. But I'm gonna toss out some trivia to you guys, things to either look out for or think about while we're watching it. This episode was written to take place after Orko's favorite uncle. Due to the way the scripts were assigned production numbers, the 2 appearances of Montork are back to front, which is kind of interesting how they do that. Like they have it scheduled a certain way, and then by the time they work around it and the release date comes, they shuffle stuff around.
Yeah, they did that quite a bit in the first season.
Douglas Booth wrote both this episode and Orko's favorite uncle. Both stories feature the possession of a Trollon, either Orko or Montork, with the power of love used to break the spell that binds them. So you kind of think about that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Because Toron, when he took control of Montork and Garg, and then, like you said, the whole thing with love, breaking the spell of Montork. And then in this one, you're going to see it's all reversed. And, well, of course, we'll get to that when it happens. So definitely tell Douglas Booth wrote both because they're almost the same kind of story, just different people.
And he also wrote Sleepers Awaken. So Douglas Booth has got, and I don't like Orko's favorite uncle. Like I even as a kid, I didn't like that episode. The Talon Fighter was in it, and that was the only cool thing I liked about that episode.
That froze right there at Castle Grayskull. Remember, it came to a stop.
Well, just knowing that was in it, because I had the toy, but I didn't know what it was called or anything like that. So when I saw it in that episode, I can have that. And that was the only thing I ever liked about that episode was just the Talon Fighter show. I don't like Toron. I like I like Montork, of course, and Garg, but I just overall, it's just not a very good episode. It's and going back and rewatching, I don't feel that much different about it. Like this one is by far my favorite Montork episode. It's just the one I loved as a kid, and I love it even more as an adult. And we'll dig into that as we get going here.
The original design of Spydra has her sporting a mohawk hairstyle, which that would have been interesting. She's got a full.
That would have been a cool look.
Actually, this part in the trivia I don't want to say because it's something I want to talk about when we actually get into the episode. This episode in particular was voted as one of the episodes that did not translate well from storyboard to screen by the storyboard artists in their self-mocking Filmation Awards. And
which there's quite a few episodes that I in that book, fit that same category. Episodes that I actually like. Yeah. So I don't know if that's their way of saying they didn't like it or what, but I thought it translated quite well, regardless.
And finally, this episode was storyboarded by Barry Caldwell, who would go on to direct episodes of Animaniacs, which I watched the first episode of like that little reboot thing they did on Hulu. It was okay. It was all right. It wasn't too insulting. I
wasn't a big fan of the original series anyway, though. I just couldn't quite get into it. It was okay as a kid, but never a priority to sit down and watch Animaniacs in the afternoons after school.
Yeah. And one thing in the chat real quick, Daniel Carhoonan said there was a commentary episode for Duel of Devlin back in the day that had Dylamug in that episode, and we'll get to that when we get to Dylamug and talk about him. But that one was even further back than revisiting this. That was from like episode 70 something, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. I'll have to look it up really quick. But
yeah. Because, another reason we got to revisit that episode now, because I forgot it was that far back.
Yeah, it's really quickly. I probably should have just searched in here. Fans of Power episode 88 is when you guys originally did the commentary for Duel at Devil.
That's a long time ago.
But hopefully you guys have the episode queued up. So Tyler, without any further ado, give us that countdown. And if you guys are wondering, while I'll be turning and looking this way, I have a second monitor functional now. So I can separate everything. So I'll be just staring off to the side.
All right, everyone, let's get ready for that famous Filmation ding here. 3, 2, 1, action. That noise alone brought so much joy to me. And if I heard it on another cartoon, it was quite lackluster because it wasn't the same powerful impact of watching He-Man.
There's so many there's so many noises like that are nostalgic for me. Like this in particular, the Capcom noise. And then like the PlayStation 1 boot up sound.
I told Nathan, this is I had this episode on VHS transferred to DVD back over the summer, and I sat down and watched the VHS tape that comes with this and the Mystery Man Face. And just watching this in the classic VHS quality, it just shits all over anything that's on YouTube or on DVD. Like the quality, like the sound. The panning speed has not been altered. I don't know. It's just like, God, I wish I could get all the episodes transferred from their original prints or anything on VHS, because I just hate the cleanup job that was done on all the DVD releases and a lot of the YouTube and iTunes as well. Like there's breaks and just spit. I'll just shut up here. But I always get like this. The Skeletor music plays with this opening shot of Trolley here. This was just part of an experience for me, seeing the various, plant life and
those plants.
See Montauk's house down below.
Those plants kind of.
I know they look like dicks. Just hurry up and do it. Hurry up and say it. As we see the most underrated villain in Master Universe history here, facing up with Uncle Montauk. Look how awesome Azrog is.
It's kind of it's surprising that Azrog and Spider didn't get Classics figures.
And nobody ever talks about it, ever. Like, down on the He-Man.org forums, no Facebook areas, nobody.
This was the only episode that both of them appeared in, right? Or are there other...
There's no mention of them at all anywhere else. It was just this episode. And honestly, like, prior to talking to Joe about them on this podcast, I never heard a single soul utter... and, of course, James has them in his book, but that's about as far as it ever got. And I just couldn't understand, like, am I really the only one who likes these two villains? And Spider, I love her.
I was just going to say, later on, I think they could have definitely made these into figures. I know in the first runs of Classics, there was a lot of reuse of stuff. And I know that these are such unique kind of body types. I mean, I think she possibly could have been made Spider. I think she could have, but Azrog definitely had a unique look. But hell, once it got towards the end of the line and they were doing a lot of unique stuff, they could have. But I'll let you get to her right now.
Oh no, I want to read how much I found her so frightening as a kid. Witches were quite scary to me, and her look and her laugh was quite frightening to me as a kid. Like her eyes and her imprisoning Montauk here later on, and
she's ugly. I mean, she's
quite vicious looking, and Linda Gary does such a great witch voice. Obviously, Cody's number one, but Spider is by far my second favorite, because I just that such a vicious tone in her voice, and just these two villains, I don't get it. I don't. Maybe it's just it hasn't been pushed enough. If people are not really stopping and taking time to watch this episode, or they clearly just don't find them as interesting and intriguing as badass as I do. But
I guess it's because they're memorable. Because again, this is the only episode they were ever in, and plus, since they were like highlighted and showcased to be featured, like no Skeletor, nobody else. Anytime there was some of those new villains or heroes, they're memorable. But having two of them, and along with his little pet Karg or whatever he calls it, Karg.
I never could understand. I thought they said Cog, like COG, and it's spelled Karg as in like the movie character Karg, but.
And I thought that was bizarre. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, because I looked at a write-up, I was like, oh, it's Karg. That's weird. But no, they're definitely distinct. They're unique. And I think that's why, like, either you love them or hate them. Some people maybe, and I always had to pick on this because I always think of Naked Gun.
I know James, I think James has made fun of
I'm like, is this tablecloth really that strong?
The magical tablecloth. He can't she couldn't get off. He can't get it off. I just think of Leslie Nielsen when the pillow was thrown in his face. I
brought this hook, line, and sinker as a kid. Like I treat it as like if it's like a net, then it works like a net. Like
tablecloth of doom.
So you stop all the villains in this fucking episode. Just throw a tablecloth.
I can't argue it. I can't. It's probably the one thing in this episode. I'm like, all right, have your fun with it.
Yeah,
it's hard. And I'm sure maybe it's one of the things that didn't translate well. But when you can't just have a net just sitting on the
it's still on
table, the Royal Palace.
It only does his lips. This part always killed me. I love Azrog, don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ, just sitting there. Somebody take this fucking blanket off me. But this is at least cool.
Now he erupts. He's ready to go whip some ass now.
Yeah, I do like this, though, with that big sumbitch. That would be a cool-ass steed. I'd love if they made a mini and a big one. I'd be all for that in figure form.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would be cool as shit.
And I just want to emphasize, too, to see, more work done of these guys. Like, I had both Axel and Kevin do renditions of Azrog for me and just, look at their versions. Because I feel like a lot of characters we've talked about, if they're drawn poorly or they're lacking something, a lot of fans can just kind of dismiss it pretty quickly. But I was taken aback when those two did renditions of Azrog, and Kevin did a version of Spydra for me also. I just feel like if they were given much more spotlight, which is what we do on this podcast, like take advantage of it and keep reminding people that there are other great villains out there. Because as a kid too, I was not big on episodes that didn't feature Skeletor as the villain. I was very dismissive, but this was one that I always look forward to watching. And I love Spydra's castle here. What a wonderful design that is. This I thought was creepy too. Anybody trapped by a witch and a spider web, I'm like, holy shit, man. And her laugh. God, scary shit, man.
She is. No, she is.
And her hair, her eyes.
Yeah, and I liked how Montork was basically playing there just to get some information.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, he's just fucking with her.
Yep. Because I was thinking, that is the one thing I was thinking. I was like, God, he's a magician. He should be able to get out of this. So I thought it was cool, and it shows his magic power, how he, boom, traps her. At least this is something feasible. Bam, I got you. You ain't going to get out. It's a magic spell, so...
She also reminded me as a kid because of renting this tape a whole lot. She reminded me of Gozer from Ghostbusters a lot.
I could see that.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
For me, it was just honestly refreshing to see magic actually working. Because in most cases, you see Orko trying and messing up or fumbling about, and it's just nice to see magic consistently work in this episode.
Oh yeah, all four characters are used inappropriately. It's cool to see magic not used as a joke in this episode. It's something I kind of feel like Douglas Booth handled quite well. And I'm so glad we finally did get a Montauk figure, which I know him and Driel were both universally loved, but I feel like, God, it took an awfully long time to get a figure of Montauk.
It did take a long time. And for her too, but definitely him, because you figure, okay, you just got to do a beard, got to do glasses, bam.
Yeah.
But Douglas Booth, you're right. The similarities as it'll start happening later with the whole controlling somebody, putting somebody under a spell to do it. Starting off here, it's all original and different. And then, yes, some similarities start coming into play later, but it's still different enough. Like I said, I was just given some shit at the beginning of the episode talking about it, but at least, like I said, these characters and the episode have it to where you feel like you're still enjoying it. It doesn't feel like it's a complete copy of the other episode, even though, yes, it is damn similar with the, okay, now you're my slave, and boom, now I'll put Orko under a spell. It's like, we get it, but he did have like a fascination with that, I guess, for some reason, that kind of story arc.
I love the moments between Azrog and Spider, like that moment where she's in the bubble saying it finally took you long enough to get here, and you see that pose you would see with Skeletor a lot, where you're looking down and just see like the bottom of his fist. Like it's a very commanding pose, like the point of view there. Like Azrog is clearly the one in charge in this scene, and I love that the chemistry the two of them have.
Yeah, that would be a great 2-pack. But now, Nathan, you haven't mentioned much, but I mean, what were your thoughts? Was this your first time seeing this episode, or did you watch it before? And what did you think about the chemistry with these two, along with the whole episode?
The first time I watched it was a couple months back when Tyler gave me a pretty extensive list of He-Man and Shira episodes to check out. Yeah. And I'm in the same boat as Tyler. I don't want to see Skeletor every week, so it's nice to get these sprinkles of these characters, and it's also a shame too that you don't get more of them. But at the same, maybe that's what makes these episodes more special, is that it's just a one and done with that, and then you can take your imagination and create other stories. I'm sure Tyler's already, like he talked about Kevin and throwing them in there. He's already like got stories in his mind of like, all right, this is what I would like to do with that.
I mean, I did, like, just speaking of it, like, I had him draw, Mia's hero, of course, and Triclops teaming up to fight Azrog on Point Dread.
But before Tyler makes me throw up a little bit,
I quickly glossed over because I am in the picture too. But it was more about like using Azrog and a very like commanding presence fighting Triclops and another guy in the rain on the mountains of Point Dread. Like I just thought like using him as such a defiant presence. Like, God, we just need more of him. Damn it!
There was a part in that episode I thought that Card pooped on Orko. I always thought that. I didn't know if you guys ever caught that. There was a scene. I know it sounds stupid. I used to think that, but when he's flying over and then you see Orko for a second, you see like this white spots, but then disappears. So it must be
maybe he just took a big old shit on Orko. I did want to say that it might get lost in translation if you're listening to this without headphones on, but the bass and Karg's wing flaps is pretty awesome.
I love it. You noticed that too? Did the same thing. I had the headphones on. I was like, boom, boom, boom. I was like, damn, that was some good music or good sound effects. It did. It sounds
so
intense.
Go back and put some earbuds or a headset on and listen to that, because it definitely comes through a lot better that way.
I can't believe you said it, because I was had that same thing when I was watching today too. But you seen Orko. Orko wants to show what he can do as well. He goes in there, of course, he gets a hold of that wand, and it's like everything, all the time you shouldn't be touching everything. You don't want to mess something up. But back to
I like that because I love Jack and the Beanstalk as a kid, and magic beans, and of course the Beanstalk blew out, and I just thought that was. And I used to be so scared for Orko during this moment as a kid. I just said, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!"
Yeah, because he definitely was.
I went through a lot of quiet emotions when I would watch He-Man as a kid. It was never anything outlandish, but just quietly and internally, I'm thinking, "Oh my god, he's fucked."
He was trapped, and after she's doing all that stuff, it didn't look.
He was. It was just. Evelyn wasn't the scariest Spider to me as a kid. Like, she was a cool villain, and Spider was a scary villain. And Alan Oppenheimer's voice is, which we've heard him use the same kind of voice. Like, there's a variation with Buzz Off and the Locust from the Wizard of Stone Mountain, but it's always going to be Azrog, this very high-pitched, raspy voice. It's really hard to describe the voice that Alan comes up with for Azrog. And the shot of the shadows looking down Orko, like you really feel bad for him.
Mm-hmm. That is a high-pitched, kind of freaked-out voice.
It kind of makes your throat hurt just kind of imagining trying to do it,
Oh, yeah. And this moment coming up here with He-Man, or Spider's being sent to confront He-Man and Teela. This was on the back of the VHS tape. I used to look forward to this moment with He-Man, like, looking at the gate. And there's a shot of him holding the gate and staring down the Spider. And I just used to love looking at I got it over here. Here it is. I just thought this was epic. Like, He-Man being so defiant, like, sure, bitch. just squeezed it and slammed it down in front of her. Just takes her out of action.
I'm just wondering either how strong is Teela or how fucking weak is that wand, because she just snaps like.
I had that in my notes. It says, is Teela that strong or is that staff just that fragile?
I know, and then it appears later as Azrog has one too. It's like, was they both have one, or did he fix the other one? I got lost at that part. I will admit, I never understood the two staff thing, but
I mean, couldn't
I imagine it's probably just a continuity error.
Teela could just take her hands when Karg's got her and just break his foot off.
I'm like, damn, she is fucking strong. It's like,
I used to wonder too, he just crashed on the concrete with her right below him.
And killed her. Yeah, I was thinking too. It's like, good thinking, He-Man. You just killed Teela. Like, I will stop him. Goes up there, she's neck snapped.
It's like, no wonder why she's PMSing all the time.
Yeah. Here comes the other magic bag. We had the blanket earlier, but this at least makes sense. There you go. Got that little shit. That's how you got to take care of Azrog and Karg, is just put them in some kind of cloth material.
That's what Nathan needs to do to people that piss him off at work. Just put them in a damn bag.
There's a fucking chihuahua that gets out from the house down there and will run up into our yard and just yaps while nothing's out there. Just yip, yip, yip. And I kind of want to do the same thing. Just put a sack around it. It's so bad.
Now, he was supposed to put a spell on him to make him to stop growing, right? That was the purpose of this. Okay. Yeah, because
hickory dickory dock.
Yeah, because he was starting to grow, and then he did the thing, and boom, the explosion. So, all right.
See, I always took it that Montork's spell was making the bag blow up. And
did you?
I just feel like it could have been interpreted different ways, but you guys probably nailed it. But that was kind of what I had always thought, because Karg stayed small the whole time.
Yeah, because the reason I always thought he maybe was growing, because I was like, okay, he's trapped in a bag, he's already small, so what's the point of just doing a spell, if he's already small? So it looked like he was starting to grow in my mind. But you're right, maybe it could have been just the bag expanding and blow up. But
they do make a point to say we better go hurry up before he starts to grow again. I always like this this kind of like
Buzzsaw?
Buzzsaw cannonball. That he turns it into in this shot of him looming. Like, that's badass.
I like that. I loved Orko. I mean, like I said, we're not seeing him, of course, in all his colors, but in that shadow look, I was like, he looks fucking evil.
That's actually like what I used to put in the little TV here on the screen for us, because to me, that sort of explains the entire episode. And I guess one question I was going to go ahead and toss out to you guys, because I like the underlying premise of Orko being evil. I like the idea that maybe one day he gets tired of people picking on him and his magic not working and decides to just turn evil. Was that something that was ever explored anymore in the series, or at least just touched on briefly like it is in here?
The Hate Stones from Star Comics, and then the Shard of Darkness is about as close as we ever got to Orko becoming, or hinted at evil.
And we will not bring up, and I'm not going to bring up any of that recent DC stuff when Orko was.
I'm sorry, stuff is that horseshit does not exist in our world. So, if you like it, great. We're not coming after you, but in this realm, it does not exist.
Yeah, if you like it, cool. But I wasn't. He's like,
we're not going to come after you for liking that stuff, but.
I like this struggle here. I like this little struggle.
I do too. I liked it a lot, and as I got older, watching this in high school, I really liked this conversation that Montork has with Orko and the struggle in Orko's face.
I did have to chuckle a little bit, because when Montork's trying to talk to Orko here, I got a little South Park vibe. It's like, oh, come on, guy, come on, think about the love, I kind of got. I don't know how to explain it.
You're rolling it here, Nathan.
I've never watched South Park,
so
I have no clue what it is. Sorry. I apologize. Never watched it. Plus, this is pre-South Park. This is before South Park.
I know. I just hearing it now, just the way he's saying it, made me think of South Park a little bit.
But I think people, if you tell them that it's all about love breaking, I think it kind of dismantles what's really going on here. Wanting the respect of your uncle, who is a very revered magician and sorcerer on Trala, I think that's what it's not explained well enough to people. If you were to tell them both these episodes come down to love, I guess technically they do, but this whole species given Orko that I respect you, because you're my favorite nephew, I love you, and how good you are is irrelevant to me. and Orko really just wanting his respect. There's a little bit more to it than that. But overall, yes, it is love. But I think when you dig a little deeper,
I know what you mean.
Do you think these episodes would have benefited from being like back to back in production order, like they were intended to be? Do you think that this would have come through better, or are you glad that, and if you're going chronologically with air date, that the separation works out better for him?
I don't know. Like I like Montauk's voice in this episode than I do in all the others that he appears in. Especially, obviously it's Lou Scheimer doing it, and it's very similar. But I just like his pitch is more spot on for me in this episode. Not because I saw it first. I just like it better.
Yeah, because it's definitely different in Orko's favorite uncle. It is slightly different.
Yeah, and I trying to remember in some of the other appearances that he appears in. It's about the same, but this is like my favorite voice. It doesn't stray too far, unlike with like Mechaneck or another character that would show, or Manny Faces, where you go, "You love me," you know.
Hey, one quick thing. Thank God Tila's wand didn't explode when Tila snapped the wand like that one exploded.
Because it blew up in her face, yeah.
I'll get this damn. There goes the hands, the face. She's out of the episode. But this is always a good episode. It's a fun one with different, unique characters. Like we said, it has a similar underlying kind of moral or story. Of course, they change up morals at the end, but I mean the context of the story is, of course, similar to Orko's favorite uncle. But I do like this a lot more than Orko's favorite uncle, because I wasn't really a fan of Toron. I do like Gark. I always like seeing Gark.
Oh, I do too. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But I like the shot of him taking them back to Trawl. Like I just love that, you know, they'll be in a magic-proof cell. I just like, oh man, like I just wanted to see more of Azrog and Spydra. I really did. Yeah. I never quite understood the shot here. Like that he was so excited he blew up the castle. Yeah. I never understood that as a kid. It did not translate to me. I was like, what the hell happened?
If anything, you thought, did he blow up? But then you see him there. But it's like everything blew up when they killed He-Man, Tila. What's going on? But what the hell? At least we know that when Montauk got them back and, you know, put them in the prison, he put them in those big cloth bag prisons. So that's at least good.
Watch out for the tablecloth.
Well, I am glad. Oh, well, yeah, that's if it stops, you know, one of the greatest, you know, wizards in the world. Yeah, I'm sure he could stop both of them or anybody. It's probably what all the Trawlers prisons are. You know, instead of bars on the cells, they just threw tablecloths on everybody.
No, but it was good.
I'm glad to know, honestly, that, you know, that when I talked about this episode, there wasn't one that Joe was, because we've always been honest with each other. Like, if Joe didn't like it, he would say it. If I didn't like it, I would say it. And this was one that, you know, Joe genuinely liked. And it was really cool that when Nathan watched it, he genuinely liked it too. Like, I like to think that and Nathan's been very honest with these episodes. If he didn't like it, he's not going to kind of like try and dance around it so he's on the same side with us. Like, he'll come out and say, I don't understand it. Why do you guys like this episode? Or why do you like that episode, Tyler or Joe? And it's really cool that these obscure characters are well liked by both you guys. And I haven't heard anybody, you know, criticize them or say that they were lame or anything like that. But, I mean, if you didn't like them, I'd be kind of curious as to why.
What was
or
James
if you do like it, let me know, damn it.
What was his thoughts on this, Nathan?
Well, do you guys want to give your rating out of 10 first, and then I'll read his final thoughts?
Oh, for me, like I said, it's a very good episode. I mean, yes, I gave shit to a couple things just because I like dicking around. But I'd like to still give it a solid 8. I almost want to say 9, but I liked it. It's not a 10 for me, but it's still a very good episode, but definitely not a shit episode. So I give it an 8.
I give it a strong 9, like a 9.5. I love the episode so much. I love the portrayal of Orko in it. Montauk, Azrog, and Spydra steal the show. It's more about those 4 characters than anything else. Like, He-Man is there to kind of help carry the story, but it's more about those 4 characters, and I don't feel like He-Man is like pushed to the side. He's got a very prominent presence, but it's cool to see, you know, these other 4 characters kind of take over, and it really expands like the vastness of the universe, that there's so many more characters, and it can't just be about He-Man's getting from point A to point B to get to C at the end. He's there witnessing these things happening.
Yeah, because I was going to say in the chat, because they're already doing it, if you want, you can give your ratings and thoughts too, because so far Zentron said he'd give it a 7 out of 10. Grimbot said, Yep, and Grimbot said, I think the animation quality of this episode drags the story down. It's just one of those that are more stiffer looking in his, what he thinks in his opinion.
Well,
so there you go, so you can tear into him. Sportimus said 9.6 out of 10, so Sportimus really likes it.
Cheers.
I'm going to... Oh, wait, wait.
I gotta say Curtis. Yeah, Curtis says, so now to 10, like Golden Disc of Knowledge, but close? Yeah, because we know he hated it. And I hate
Yeah, we know you can take your golden disc and shove them at there, buddy.
And what's up, Pac? What's up, Sportimus? And I hate tears. So go ahead. What do you
I'm gonna go just a tad bit lower. I'm gonna go with a 7. I enjoy it.
That's still good.
I enjoyed it. It's not something that like completely like blew me away, or after I watched it I was like super pumped about it, but I like having those one-off characters. I like those stories that doesn't require He-Man to take center stage of the whole thing. It's nice to see that, and it's refreshing. But here is James Etalk's review. You guys are gonna love it. The return of Orko's uncle Montork is sadly nowhere near as good as his debut in Orko's favorite uncle. This episode starts off with a lot of promise with new Troll villains, Azrog and Spider, both of whom are striking in their design. Sadly, aside from an average script which tries to repeat the events of Montork's debut appearance by reversing the situation and having Orko evil, the animation and visuals in this episode border on atrocious. The cartoony elements that are peppered throughout the episode fall flat because of the continued reliance on Filmation's stock system. While the script does get stronger during the climax of the episode, by this point, it is hard to remain interested. 5 out of 10.
James, you son of a bitch.
That's great.
No, the only way he comes back on this bike is if he issues me a public apology and gives me $500.
It's great.
You hear that?
Did he have ratings? I forgot. What did you say the rating was again? Did he put the rating in there? I must have missed it.
Wait. Were you too busy farting? Because Grim 2 said that you farted, and we all heard it.
I snorted. No, I did not.
No, yeah.
Well, because Joe farts out his nose. I snorted, man.
5 out of 10 from James Etalk. 5 out of 10.
Well, we got some other ratings. Adam
all right. Well, I got Graham. I need his rating since he works closely with James. Graham, I got to hear your rating for this episode.
Okay, and while he's going to do that, I'll give some of the other ratings. Adam Gabbard gave it 8. Daniel Carhoonan gave 9. Jason Havlick gave a 6 out of 10. Papa Hud said an 8.5, and Craig Botch, you're a dork. He just said, Joe farted. We all heard. I did not fart. I have a chair that makes noise all the time. God damn it. Andy Elsey gave it an 8. And now we're going to hopefully see what Grim has to say. It's just,
I like that. All of our listeners gave it above average. So clearly James doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He needs to go back Grim, and reissue a brand new book with updates done by me. And it'll. Well,
Grim gave a 6. Grim gave a 6.
Okay, all right. I'll give it at least the lowest grades I got was a 6, which is that's above average. So I am pleased with everybody's response to that tonight.
All right, and one more. Purvis gave a 9, and no, Pack. I did not launch an air biscuit. I don't know where that came from. Those Pelly Nate. I don't do that.
Did you beef instead?
Like I said, I'm just it's my mask or snorting or I laughed. God damn it, leave me alone. Let's go to talk. I did not fart. I gotta hear when this happened because I didn't do it.
I'm gonna have to go back too because even having the headset
I really
on,
did.
I didn't hear anything.
I'm serious.
But I
swear to God, no. Seriously,
I was too busy reading and concentrating on that. So maybe Joe did fart and I
did not fart. Jesus Christ! Can we talk about Dylamug now?
See, the way that he's denying it makes me think that maybe he did.
Yeah, the way he's denying it, he applied it.
I mean, if you farted, man, if you.
You know what happened? I remember in school one time, and it's always chairs, but we had those chairs that when you'd move, it'd make a squeak, and one time it made a weird sound, and there was a Joe. I was like, no, it's the chair, and I kept trying to move it to recreate that sound, and it never did it. They thought I was lying.
Giving him a flashback.
That's what you should actually fart from. No, that was a fart, Lucy, and then or whoever it was that called you out on it. And then you went and stole lunch.
Wait. That reminds me of that time. I know I've said this before. Don't know if it was on this show or Beyond Retro. But when we were doing the... What was that testing, Tyler, that we had to take?
I'm not sure what...
And we would have to take it once a year, remember? And then as it went on, you would have to pass those to move on to the next grade, but
SOL test?
Yes, SOL test. So in 8th grade, we were doing the SOL test, and it was like super quiet. And the way that the seating setup was, there was just an aisle in the middle, and then like a group of chairs. Like I'm sitting here, there were like rows behind me, and then in front, you were looking at another set of kids in another row. Anyway, my cousin was in front of me, and it's dead quiet. And then all of a sudden, you just hear, and I look up because I'm like looking down, I look up like, and he is beet red, and his face is down, and he's covering his mouth, and he's trying not to laugh. And then I just start, like, everyone just busted out laughing at once, because it's a thing where everyone's looking at each other, and people are looking across at us, and I start pointing at my cousin, like pointing at him.
Of course Nathan would do that.
And everyone just starts laughing. Anyway, he got in trouble for that, because you're not supposed to, like, make noise during a test, and he got, like, day detention the next day for farting during the test.
Detention for farting? I've never.
It's ridiculous.
I go in the principal. So what are you in for, kid? I beefed in class.
But it was just one of those, like.
I know, especially. I'm sure the chair was plastic too, wasn't it?
So it just like reverberated out of that. It would just like hit down and go.
Yeah,
out.
that's what makes it. Everyone knows what we're talking about. This kind of fact.
Yeah,
this kind of snorts in Joe's case.
It was like in the library. It was like in the library in Whitney Taylor. You remember her, right?
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
She was just sitting there, and she like tilted up, and I was just like looking at her, and it was just one of those like, and it just like it was like it was popping against a chair and just like echoing out. And I'm like, what? How did you even do that?
She's the only girl that I ever went to school with that if you told me she farted, not only would I'm sure everyone would have bust out laughing and slapped her on the back for it because she was that damn popular and could get away with. I mean, she could have shit her pants during a pep rally in front and look at all the skin marks. Oh, like she was that popular and untouchable. So.
I mean that's good, It's unlike Joe, where everyone's gonna like hear it and call him out, and he's gonna get pissed off about it.
And Joe starts wearing a mask back then, like wears like a stocking over his face.
That's where it started.
Yeah,
is that where it's all started? I will have to go back and listen later. I don't know how that. I mean, it did not happen. I don't know where that sound came from.
Well, what Nathan should do is when he goes back, he needs to edit the show or have Deuce do it and just put that sound effect in there, like a Rocco's Modern Life fart.
And then just like take any quiet moments from myself and Tyler where we're just staring at the camera and not saying anything.
What kind of
the farting preacher? That's what we should do. Like the farting preacher. Listen to this, guys. You're in for a treat. Or something like that.
Have a powerful day.
Yeah.
Don't you dare. Let's start talking about Dylamug, damn it. And Nathan, maybe you can start off with your thoughts on the character Dylamug.
Dylamug is a character that was only in a handful of episodes. Just a brief cameo in one, and then the other one was, what was the title? We had Duel at Devlin, which kind of has center focus on the character, which... If you haven't gone and watched that episode yet, eventually I imagine we'll come back around to a commentary. But it's pretty awesome because a guy wakes up and he's just like, what's all this racket? And basically walks into like a tavern. And Dylamug's in there with horde troopers. And they're all just having a good time. And he's like, can you please stop? And he's like, oh, okay, that's what you want to do. How about dancing? And he starts shooting lasers at him and everything. So Dylamug is an asshole. And I appreciate that about him.
Yes.
And like him quite a bit. But what? I should have had this up already. The other episode that Dylamug is in a little bit and speaks and is Shades of Orko, but he spends most of that time kind of like
being a dumbass.
Yeah, being like Shadow Weaver. He's like, oh god, I'm so afraid of her. So a huge difference there. So if I'm going to recommend an episode for you to see Dylamug at full potential, Duel at Devlin is definitely the way to go. It sort of has a western.
Which is the one he was slipping? When is the one where he was slipping around like he was on banana peels and bullshit? What episode was that? Oh, that was it? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen that. Yeah.
But just
just
a really cool design too, and I've seen the sketch design of what they originally had, and it's similar to what they ended up with. But
was that the concept of the toy one or what? I couldn't remember because okay.
Which I should have just saved that image and like popped it up on the screen, but
which I'd always was curious when looking at that. There's no horde emblem on him, which kind of makes you wonder would that have been one of the evil warriors? Would it have been a neutral villain? Like there was no like, hey, we're creating this villain to be part of this faction.
Arms too, didn't he? Didn't he
Yeah,
have
it
his
had like
arms
extendable arms, you know.
Yeah.
Which was a really cool look. And his facial features were drastically different too. But yeah, go ahead, Nathan. What you had?
Oh no,
to share
I was just
about?
gonna say the design that we got is really great, and it's cool that a couple years back we were able to actually get that in classics form.
Have him right here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can go ahead.
So refreshing.
Yeah. And the fact that you can actually move his face around to have the different expressions is a nice.
Can you show me how that works, Tyler? Because I don't have it, so I want to see how that.
Yeah,
moves.
so I got it with my favorite asshole face is that smile.
Yeah, that's how I have
that's
mine
his
too.
prick. Yeah, and then
does
he's got
rotate.
his, yeah.
Cool as shit. Do you got the angry eyes on there too?
Oh yeah, angry eyes,
can't
and then you got his surprise eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then there's a Horde emblem with a laser blast, and then there's like another different Horde emblem too. I went with this one for mine.
I'd go with that too.
The bulbs on the top there.
How cool is that?
And the bulbs. I mean, I'll hold up even closer. Like you can just see, like there's a lot of details in the top of Dylamug there. Like
yeah, it's surprising.
It's they really. I mean, for a figure that was later on, like.
I didn't think he was ever going to come to classics. I didn't think he'd ever pop up in the line.
I was.
You wouldn't think so either. Just based off.
Oh yeah, you got this face too. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was too. I was worried about it just because the way people were like, "Oh, I don't know who the character is." Like, that ain't Fisto. I ain't buying that shit. You ain't getting my damn money.
And you definitely can't reuse that for anything. So that is one and done. Yeah, for the tooling.
And I mean, you get all the wires in his legs. I mean, and look, it's his hands. Like and you watch the episode, his hands are very claw-like. I mean, all that is there in this. It's just
that's cool. It is.
It's a work of art. Joe, what were your thoughts when you first saw Dylamug?
Oh no, I loved anytime seeing new characters. That's the thing. I was always for new characters, and I never thought this guy did not fit in, didn't belong, a weird design. I just thought it was cool to see. He almost, as through time and seeing it, he kind of reminded me of like when you have the loan shark or the people that come collect. Like yeah, you doing? I'm gonna come get the money. Like the guys that come get the money for the mob.
Of course, they got to be work for Gazzo.
Yeah, like how you doing? I'm gonna come get this, and he's got the smile on his face. Like, you got me money?
He's like, I hear things. A lot of canaries on the docks.
But it's true though, because that's how I see it. I see it. He's coming in there. He's gonna get the money, get the fame, and he's happy. And if he don't get the money, he gets the bad
I should just
face
go.
and breaks your legs.
I can't do that. I should just go get Emily because she could probably do that accent better. But no,
she's
she's actually
Boston,
right now making some more chocolate chip cookies. Since I only had 2 of Joe's, I'm like, we gotta have more.
Wait. Can I say something real quick? What do you mean you only had 2 of mine? Wait. No, hold on. I gotta finish this. What do you mean you only had 2 of mine? You shouldn't have had none of mine. Those were my cookies.
Wait, no. Hang on. I sent Joe something, and he sends me back a voice message. He's like, what should I? What do you mean? Like, it was about the Power and Honor book because he keeps telling me that he's gonna send this to me. I'm like, I was like, are you gonna send me like the custom that you're doing? Is it the Christmas custom that you're sending to me, or is it the Power and Honor book with a winky face? Just hey, you still haven't sent me that book. He's like, you always talk about. You always want that book. You always want that book. You cookie stealing bitch. And I'm like, whoa. No, wait, no, you called me a cookie thieving bitch. That's what you called me. And I was like, damn, Joe, that's strong. But he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Well, I told you that means I love you. Anytime I wisecrack somebody back and forth.
I cuss you and fart on you. I love you, man.
Really? No, that's what it means. So it's like I wouldn't say that to anybody I didn't like. So, but you did. You stole 2 fucking cookies, and you said you only had. It's like it's unbelievable that you took 2, but you only had.
I could have ate more, but I didn't, Joe. They were just that good.
Again, calls me a fucking thief. Tell Emily thanks again. They were good. Very good cookies. All right. But yeah, so yeah, I love Dylamug, and he was a character I always wished we would have got to figure out back then. Like you said, fast forward all these years later, we got one. I never was able to get him, but no, he was always a great character, and the thought of him getting turned into, like you said, the slipping on shit and banana peels or just crap and being a goof. I always hated when that happened to any of the characters later on, whether it was in the He-Man series or Shira series. It annoyed the hell out of me. It's like these characters should have been treated with a little bit more respect, to be intimidating, but I know why things had to change, but I always see him as more as a serious, like I said, somebody how you seen him, the Duel and Devlin. That's it right there. Not the other crap that we got later on.
But
I'm go ahead,
no,
Nathan.
I was just gonna say that originally Dylamug with that sketch was planned for the toy line, right? So
yeah.
Do you think that it would have looked more like that, and then or do you think they would have, if they would have done it, would have looked more like the Filmation character? You think they would have tweaked it some more from that drawing? What do you think we would have gotten back then?
Oh, we would have got probably what we seen in the cartoon, but it probably definitely would not have been as like detailed as how we seen for classics. For vintage back then, I think they would have probably had a turn gimmick. I don't think they would have had interchangeable faceplates. They would have probably had a turn gimmick, but he probably would have been smaller in scale, of course, to fit in with 5.5, in size. But I think something would have been just lost in translation. Something would have been different if we ever got it. It just would have been off. I don't think it would have looked like the concept.
Just the way that they were reusing parts in that line. I get it makes sense why they cut it, because they're like, well, we can't make it these skinny arms and skinny legs. We have all the everything else the way that it is.
Probably would have. I could have seen we probably would have got the skinny arms, skinny legs, but I just meant something just would have been slightly off. It always happens towards something goes from cartoon. I mean, hell, look at King Randor. It's like, what the hell? King Randor, the figure, looked nothing like the cartoon back then. It was still cool to get him, but he was quite different. So something, I don't know to what degree, you probably wouldn't have had as many light bulbs on the head, Tyler. I'm sure they probably would put like 3 up there.
That's why I kind of feel like the tongue lasher is completely different than what we got in Filmation. Like, that's why I kind of feel like we probably would have gotten something that was a bit more, because Filmation had certain say over, what characters they wanted to use and how they wanted to look and stuff like that, like Colonel Blast and Rio Blast. There are similarities, but drastic differences as well. When other characters were like Cobra Khan and Whiplash, minor differences, but you clearly know that's the toy on the screen. And I kind of feel like Dylamug probably would have been I kind of think more closer to the concept toy. Like, I almost feel like his arms would have been plastic, like extendable plastic that would kind of scrunch up, because you look at that concept, it almost looks like his arms would kind of extend out and back in. It's like a soft plastic that would kind of scrunch up, and you can extend it back
Hold
out.
on, I gotta attack Grimbot, because now Grimbot's doing to me what he does to you. He's like, what? The head's pretty faithful. When he's talking about King Randor, I'm talking about the design, the armor, everything else. It's different. That's what I mean, Grimbot. God damn it. See, I only said that because it's out of love.
Geez, you made it sound like he was saying, Joe, you don't know what you're talking about. And King Randor originally came with this and that. Like, man, well, that's just
He had to mention a fucking head. I just want to choke him. Choke him.
I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put up the concept art right here over top of us a little bit, so you guys can kind of see what we're talking about here. And I agree with Tyler, because you look, and the arms and the legs are definitely thicker, and they could have done. It looks like with the legs, and especially the arms, has got like the springy wireness to it. They probably would have just molded that a little bit thicker to sort of fit in with everything else, but. It's interesting. It's pretty ugly looking.
I mean, it's awesome. I kind of wish we had gotten something like that too in general, like as like a, like how we got Demo Man as like a concept character in Vicor. Like, I wish we had gotten that version of Dylamug or called him something else. I just think that.
Maybe a different character, because it's a unique design, but I really love the design they did for Filmation. This one is.
Oh, I do too. But when I saw it, because I didn't see that until Tomart released their concept issue, which was back in 2000 or 2001. That's when I first saw that.
There was some,
and I had no idea that Dylamug, because when I first saw the character, I didn't know what the hell he was. I was like, is he? Like, because the brown on his chest looked kind of like human-like. And I don't know. I was like, is he a robot? Is he like a side? It was just, I was so.
It's rough, because you're looking at this.
It was odd looking. He was an asshole, and he wasn't part of the original Horton. So I thought, who the hell is this guy? He's a prick. Where's Hordak and all these other guys? So and I saw him on this VHS tape. They had five episodes on it, which was a big deal to get a tape like this. And Duel at Devlin was on this tape, and that's how I saw Dylamug for the first time while it was on this tape. And I just was completely dumbfounded by the character. Probably the one time I thought, like, what the hell is this guy? And he was a prick. And George DeCenzo does an incredible job with this kind of like old radio voice, like the way he laughs. When he it just is. Oh God, it's such a perfect voice. It's for a lot of the one because it's almost kind of like a one-shot character in the show, kind of like Icer and Fang Man. Like, yeah, he's in Shades of Orko, but he has a different voice and he's a complete buffoon. This is like this guy owns this episode. That's why he's almost like a one-shot villain. But
you wish that's when you wish it was, because his appearances in the other episodes didn't do him any justice. It's like
and it's like in both seasons of Filmation, and we've talked about this relentlessly, is that they relentlessly and they come out of the gate trying to make the villains all like real asshole villains, like for children. Like they're safe, but these guys are real douchebags, and that second season rolls around and they've all been castrated. Just go down the line and you got those, Reverend Lovejoy wives are out there. Someone think of the children and just castrating all the heroes and villains. No one has any guts. No one's a real prick or an asshole in the second season. Everyone's slipping on banana peels and, going, yeah.
Which, don't do it. I won't go into that one aspect of it here. But in this concept art, it seems like at the top two that they could have just reused like Triclops' visor in a way. They probably would have just repurposed that and repainted it.
It's bizarre looking at. Yeah, because when you look at it, it almost looks like at the top it looks like a face, but then you got the face and the chest on that concept. It's definitely out there, but of course that's why they're rough sketches. That's why they are concepts, because they're trying to go from one point to another. So you'll see some weird shit, of course, at some points, because you look at it, it's like, God damn, that's a lot of weird stuff. And what are these like kind of robot hand head snake things? You can't really tell when you're looking, but it's still interesting. But yeah, I'm glad we got the thing that Dylamug as he appeared in the cartoon, because this, while cool, it's almost like you were saying, Tyler. I mean, this concept could almost have been another character, just because it is so different. He's that different to where, he could have been his own character.
I know Axel put him in like his horde poster that he did for Mad Duck posters. Like there's like the 3 variant posters, and one is they had that version of Dylamug in the poster. The
did
toy
he?
Concept, yeah, which was I thought was really cool. Like the toy version of Catra. Grizzlor has the black face. So I just thought that was a nice little throw in there too, because I'm like, God, they didn't ask you so much for this poster.
I thought about because I just recently discovered Mad Duck posters, and I was like, well, those are 24 by 36. I really do like that one with Ninjor and Snakeface and King Randor and Squeeze. I'm like, maybe I should pull the trigger on that one. So if you guys are looking for the magazine posters without the text and everything on it, you want a bigger size but pay a little more, Mad Duck posters, go ahead and give that a Google. I think it might even be madduckposters.com.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And it is cool if they do offer a lot of these Earl Norm prints. I some of those things I can't justify paying.
Yeah.
When I bought the original posters so much cheaper off of eBay with the magazine too, and you want me to pay like $55 to $60 for just a print.
Hey, if you got the money to do it, and they got a lot of cool other Masters of the Universe prints on there as well. It's not just relegated to Earl Norm's work. So go check that out. There's a lot of good art on it.
There's a couple of other interesting, some of them on there. I'm like,
it's hit and miss on some, but it's nice to see all that other stuff on there too.
Yeah, there's a really cool poster for Tila's Quest. Of course, Axel did his Evil Horde poster. There's a couple other. Emiliano did a beautiful poster for them as well. So there are some good ones, and then some ones where like, you guys just painted the damn figures. I ain't got time for that. Just throw these classic figures. I'll just draw what I'm and like, no, that's not talent. I got no patience with that kind of Billy Jack bullshit. Take this character and make it your own, damn it.
Well, speaking of characters and making it your own, I don't know if you guys have anything in mind, but if you were to do more with Dylamug and not have him slipping on banana peels, if we're just saying that Dual Devlin is a one-off appearance, how would you bring Dylamug back for another episode?
I'd probably make him Force Captain. I'd make him, if you're not going to use Mantana, Grizzlor, Leech, and Modulok, which to me that's the quintessential, group of the Horde, like and Catra too, and Shadowy. But I just see Dylamug as like the biggest prick, like the guy that really enjoys torturing people over taxing them and taking away their belongings because they can't afford to pay the tax. Like he relishes, like, oh, let me do it. I'll go do it. I'll go destroy this small village where they got nothing, and there's a family that has like 5 kids. We'll burn their house down in front of the kids, make the kids watch, like really build up it. What a real villain should be in this world, and that you just can't wait for Shira to kick his ass.
Yeah, and that's because almost like earlier when I was just doing my mocking voice and stuff, but that is how I see him, because I said, like, when he's coming there to collect the money or whatever he has to do with all the people around him when he has his troopers, but
it's like
smiling.
a biker gang. I love that about Dylan. He comes in like a biker gang.
He does, and he's the leader, and he's the enforcer, and he is the loan shark, the collector. He's there, and then if you don't have what he needs, that's when that smile face switches, and the eyes turn, and gets angry, and he fucking takes care of business. That's what I see, too. I love it, and that's what I wish we could have seen more of. Of course, we know we wouldn't get that violence in Shira, but still, somebody that's imposing, intimidating, that's the person that when shit's going down, he's being called in, and I would have loved to have seen that for Dylamug.
I've always wanted to use him a lot more. I mean, if I was ever given an opportunity to, because I just always thought it'd be cool, like to have like He-Man or Shira like just punch the shit out of Dylamug, like just like he's taunting him or something like that, and they just ran their fist right into the side and just punch, like impale him in his like his whole like body there, and just like tear out his innards, and there's like oil and grease flying all over the place. I just
Grimbot's here to annoy us, Tyler. Grimbot is here to annoy us.
What is he accusing us, or what did he create now?
Well,
did you create Dylamug?
Yeah, because Dylamug comes back to throw pies at the rebels. He's a dick. What a dick. That's it. We got to ban him. Get him out of the chat room. He's gone.
Well, he did create Dylamug, so he has the right to, decide Dylamug's fate. I mean, who are we to,
Right. Well, now we'll pass it to you guys in the chat room. If you do have any questions for us, whether it's from the cartoons, the movies, the mini comics, anything else, pop it up right here, right now, and then we'll get to them. And then, Nathan, is there anything you wanted to say or do?
I do have something else to throw into Dylamug here to wrap it up. I have me fighting Dylamug here. Compliments of Axel.
Could you go a little keep going that direction.
Yeah.
Sweet Christ.
With the beast monster coming down on both of us there.
I mean, I would like it. I would like it better if you weren't in there, but it's what it is.
Well, but we need to have the epic scale, So if I'm not in there, you got to have the muscle,
Yeah, I'm trying to hold back the vomit now.
Jesus. Well, at least I'm not that arrogant. But hey, let's see.
Not about this, but Joe's arrogant about other things. Nathan's arrogant about wrestling. Joe's arrogant about how customs are done, and I'm arrogant about damn near everything else. So.
Let's see.
There you go.
Let's see if I can. I'll try to find some of the comments from last week. There weren't as much. Get a belated birthday message from Omegator. Captain Chronic says, "Hey, I like Nepthu."
Okay, we didn't even talk about.
Well, I'm glad there's one of you out there.
Well, did we mention Neptune?
We talked about.
No, I was slamming, because we were talking about the classics line. How Scott was like, "People love Neptune. I don't know what you guys' problem are bitching about me putting Neptune in the line."
And then Joe had replied to this already, but blue-haired lawyer said, "Have you guys seen the Zika Sectars action figures?"
Yeah, those smaller ones. They're cool, but there was something I just didn't want to get because I'm a bigger fan of the vintage ones. Like I said, they were really ahead of their time in scale and articulation, and it was sad that they ended so quickly along with their cartoon. So, yeah, if Super 7 was to ever get a hold of that license or anybody else and make them in a 6-inch scale like how they did for classics, it'd be fantastic. But yes, those Zika ones are cool, but that smaller scale, it's not for me. That kind of G.I. Joe reaction style or however
anything G.I. Joe size is cool. I just need a little bit more articulation.
Because it was around that scale, right? Wasn't it a smaller 3 3/4, or am I wrong?
I thought they were bigger. I just remember seeing pictures of them like
maybe I'm wrong. If somebody in the
maybe
chat
they
room
were. I didn't dig into it because I don't think I was going to be able to support the campaign to get them made. So
yeah, I mean they're cool, but I really thought they were a 3 3/4. So if anybody in the chat,
they may have been. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, and I might be an idiot, but I am. But Adam Gabbert said, "Joe, Tyler, Nathan." Who said true? Being an idiot. Was that you, Tyler?
I did.
What a fucker. All right, Adam Gabbert said, "Joe, Tyler, and Nathan, I remember having the vintage weapons packs for Masters of the Universe for the toy line back in the 80s until years later they were released for classics. What are your thoughts for that?" I'll be honest, Adam, I mean, as a kid, I liked the vintage ones when classics came. It was cool, I guess, to have additional stuff, but I really didn't flip over them. I guess one of them didn't. One of them have Cowl in the weapons pack. classics.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But just for weapons, I've never been somebody that just flips over weapons packs. But they're still cool for those who like them, so it's not like I'm knocking them.
Yeah, it's like any of those. It's not just with this line, but anything in general, as a toy line wise, when they release accessory packs. Sorry, I was chewing on a piece of ice. When they release accessories packs, half the time I'm just like, it's kind of pointless to me a little bit. Unless there's something in there that gives you, but it's usually just like one thing amongst others that you don't really want or need. That's how I've always felt about any of that stuff. It's like, it's similar to, what was that in the 2000X line? Tyler, who went to Kmart and you like flipped out over it.
What?
Like the flight packs?
The flight packs. I was like,
yeah.
What's the point of this? You're like, oh, you don't understand. I'm like, yeah, I don't. Can you please explain why you're so excited about it?
I couldn't, because it was just new He-Man toys, and the Bat Pack was only featured like once or twice in the 2000X cartoon. It was just like a quick device that just picked Skeletor up. Like, it was I was just determined to not miss out on everything.
He was so excited.
Then.
I'm like,
I was.
Yeah, I think, the reason, I think I remember not picking on Tyler, but I remember saying something, but he still's like, I don't give a shit. It was when he was talking about those flight packs. I said, you know what's weird about it? They are things that are supposed to make them fly, but I think they actually called them fight packs. And I was like, why do they call them fight packs when they should be flight packs? If I'm not mistaken, I think that they actually call them a fight pack. And Tyler said, I don't give a shit. I don't like them either way. But they actually are fight packs. But he's right. Everybody says it. They should be called flight packs, but they were fight packs, as dumb as that is.
Yeah, and I never took them out of the package. I just bought one
They
of each and just, it was just more about grabbing everything that had the He-Man logo on at the time.
Yeah, like a cheap knockoff of Zoar and Screech. I mean, I didn't like him either. I bought them, but I was like, off to the side. I never clipped them onto He-Man or Skeletor.
I didn't either.
Off to the side. But thank you for that question, Adam.
I did own the weapons pack from the 80s, though. I bought it at a Happy's Flea Market, and it was like the only like men on cart item I owned for like the longest time, but I didn't notice it had been stapled back together. But it was still cool to have like the cross-sell artwork on the back.
Dumbass.
All the weapons were, and that's why I ended up just taking off. Like, wait a second, I paid $15 for this, and it was stapled back on. Those foreign sons of bitches, you know.
Oh, crazy.
They're also the same guys that sold me my men on cart Stilt Stalkers, which were intact. So,
all right. Crimbot says he has a question for me. I'm not going to go all into it, Grimbot, because I'll get upset. He said, yes, I have a question for Joe Amato. How was that Kevin Smith interview? There's an interview that's on YouTube that Kevin Smith did with two people. I don't know who they are, I'll be honest. And he was talking about the new cartoon, Master Universe cartoon, and I guess Clerks 3. And the first 27 minutes, he was kind of talking. But when he hit the 15-minute mark, I just stopped. It's not that... I just couldn't sit through it. I'm just saying, okay, maybe the cartoon will be good, but just some of the things he said just kind of...
Well, what did he say? Because I didn't check this out.
Well, okay, all right.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either.
Well, it was how he said this one line, and I'm thinking, okay, well, how... You guys are going to know more because you know more. I always said I know nothing about Kevin Smith. I never watched any of the Clerks or the Silent Bob and Jay or whatever the hell they're called. I never watched any of them things. I don't know. I never watched them. So
Beaver and Buttface.
He came to a part around the... Yeah, I'm an idiot. But anyways, he came around the 15-minute mark and he said something about, like, he was looking at some of the episodes they're working on and, he's just getting up and he's waking and baking. And I was like, okay, I already know what you mean. You're going to wake up, you're going to smoke weed, you're going to do whatever. I know what that reference is supposed to mean. So I'm like, yeah, you're the clear person that should be working on this. I don't know if you're writing and doing... I just get annoyed. Again, I have nothing against people that if you do whatever you want in your life as an adult or anybody. But when I heard that, I was like, I don't know, it just annoyed me. I was like, is he known for doing drugs and stuff or something?
Oh, God, yeah. Everything to him is about smoking weed. I mean, everything about him is about that.
I don't know, it turned me the wrong way. Again, and I have nothing. If people are in the chat room and people are listening, if you smoke weed, that's fine. I don't care. I just don't do it. But it's how he said it.
So it was just that, and you shut it off? There wasn't any... He didn't...
I did. I don't know. And then he was talking about the music of the new cartoon, how great it is. And I couldn't remember if he said it might even be better than the original or how it was phrased. Grimbot will have to say something. I don't know. I'm wanting the cartoon to be good, and I shouldn't be that nitpicky because, like I said, I don't want to come across the wrong way of people thinking that I'm judging.
Isn't it hilarious that Joe is just now? It's like, wait, he smokes weed all the time? I don't know nothing about him.
I don't know. I don't know Kevin Smith. I don't know his movies and things. So,
that Silent J and Jim Bob, all they do is smoke pot. Like there's nothing but references to them smoking pot all the time.
It's been like that from the beginning. It's just hilarious. How many months has this been announced? And Joe's like, wait, he wakes and bakes. I turned the interview off.
I know what that means. I'm down. I'm like those Dawson's River kids sleeping in each other's beds.
Oh hell yeah!
So anybody does it, that's fine. I don't. I'm thinking about what is he going to be writing then, or what's he going to be coming up with if he's in this mode. I just keep thinking, is that why we might hear fucking Mia in the new cartoon?
No, I think it's him trying to sound like he's cool because he smokes pot and shit, and like.
This doesn't impress me. I don't give a shit.
Well, it doesn't impress me either. It's more about trying to make sure this guy does not come in. Which I still don't understand how he managed to get attached to this. Something that he has mentioned in passing and has shown no interest in at all. You just still can't help but wonder how this guy got attached to it. In name only. Like, I don't get it. Any superhero, I don't question because he loves comic books. He loves Marvel and DC. Like, I wouldn't question that at all, but I don't get it. I have no idea. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if he's the. Like I said, I don't think he's the main writer of this. I know he's. No, he's not. But just someone that works on something like this. Like even though Michael Bay didn't direct Turtles, his fingers were all over those films. Like, and we know what he did to Transformers and stuff like it's those kind of things that he may not be calling the shots, but where is the influence? It's like a shitty movie gets released from 20th Century Fox, and the director takes the heat for it, even though it was, the head of the studio and pushed all these big changes. And he doesn't get the blame for it. The director and the cast and crew get blamed for it. It's kind of one of those things where I feel like...
These writers are good, because I know there's a lot of writers, and I hope these writers do great, great episodes. I'm hoping that they write something incredible. It's just, I think even one time when he said, there's times where you're sitting around, and we're just shooting ideas like, hey, that's cool, that's funny, that could work. And I'm like, I don't know. It annoyed me, but that's the end of that. But yeah, thanks for that, Grimbot, for getting me work.
He's lost a lot of credibility as being anything like legitimate in pop culture. Like, we all know he's paid off to say, "Oh, this Star Wars prequel was fucking awesome, dude." Like, we get it. Like, he's lost all credibility in that regard. Like, I don't look to him as like this guy loves comic books and knows his shit. Like, yeah, I'm aware he does. But in terms of like listening to him for his opinions on stuff, no, I don't give two shits about what Kevin Smith thinks about this or that movie or that movie.
But again, I would like to say I am really hoping the cartoon would be good. I hope whoever's writing, because there's a lot of different writers for each episode, I am hoping it's great. We'll just have to wait and see. But here comes a question from Fevmon. Said, question, what would your job in the Royal Palace of Eternos be? My job?
Fitness instructor.
I'd be the food teacher.
I'd be running the gym.
I'd be right next to Chef Allen. You got to put a little more in this. You got to have this. I'm the one that's always eating the food. Yeah, I'd probably be there. Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah,
I have no idea what I would be doing.
Okay, Nathan would be the advisor to King Rider, man. That guy's a fucking idiot. You can listen to him? Yeah, I can see Nathan just offering his advice.
Either that, or I would probably be maybe hanging out with Man-at-Arms, being like an apprentice or working with something, or like, hey, here's some computer stuff, man. Let's mess around with this. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, it's a different question. It makes your head spin. So here's another one that's going to make your head spin. Curtis Ackerman said, if you were to put together a Masters of the Universe version of A Christmas Carol, who would play Scrooge and who would be the three ghosts? Would you make Man-at-Arms be Scrooge since he's always sometimes pissed off all the time, and I don't know who the three ghosts would be? I don't know. That is a weird-ass question, Curtis.
I'd probably make it. I mean, this is strictly just trying to honor the question. Like, it's hard to picture anybody going through this, but I think it had to be somebody outside like one of the other heroic warriors. Maybe, someone who's kind of bitter about.
I'm surprised you didn't say Tila. I'm surprised you didn't say Tila, as you said. She's always so.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that would be a good one because she is, just the Ebenezer, Scrooge. I mean, she's just a constant bitch about everything. So,
And
then she
Adam would
tries to
have to
fill.
be one of the ghosts because he's always getting shit on by Tila. So Adam would have to be one of those ghosts to show her the error of her ways some
Yeah, and
way.
he's constantly like cutting into her, Captain of PMS and shit like that, Sandy Vagina, like just constantly egging her on, like, hey, you remember you did this shit to me? Yeah, you cunt.
So maybe he would be for maybe he
I
could
think
do
Scareglow should be like the
Future?
No. Well, yeah, I guess he would. I was gonna say Jacob Marley, but yeah, the Scareglow should be the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Yeah.
Adam's Ghost of Christmas Past, so we can remind Tila about what a bitch she was. And Ghost of Christmas Present should probably be Lizard Man, just because I want to work Lizard Man in there.
Just had up for Lizard Man.
Makes no sense, but I'm gonna put it in there anyway.
I like that.
Oh, Dylamug. Dylamug could be a real prick. If you watch like the George C. Scott version of A Christmas Carol and the Ghost of Christmas Present, like he's a real asshole to Scrooge, and rightfully so. You can put Dylamug in there. That'd be great.
All right, there you go. Papa Huds has a question that I think Tyler, you collected them. I didn't know. I didn't even rent these. He said, "How many Filmation He-Man VHS volumes were there?" He said the org said 22. He said, but he feels like there were more. But I have no clue. Is it?
Yeah, because I've gone to there just to look, and every so often they will have updated it. There's a couple of volumes that don't have numbers on them, like volume 9 or 10 or 11. Like the Sleepers Awaken doesn't have one. The Betrayal of Stratus and Other Adventures doesn't have one. That's like a 5-episode tape. Rarest Gift of All, it's like a single episode. I'd have to go back and look at it, but it's well over 20 volumes. Yeah, there's
Jesus. Wow.
There's another VHS tape that's got like the Energy Beast and 4 other episodes, like another 5-episode tape. So
and what were isn't there Magic Time or Magic Window or different types?
Yeah. It was the RCA original release, and then they had their Magic Window brand, and then they released all the previous VHS tapes, and then a lot of the season 2 stuff was released under the Magic Window brand as well. So. I mean, I've got examples of that right over here, too. If you don't know what Magic Window is, you can look it up on YouTube, and you can see, like, the introduction for Magic Window VHS tapes. So that was another fun part of the experience of watching He-Man and Shira on VHS was the Magic Window
would have been
opening.
cool. Yeah, like I said, I never had a desire since I always watched them on TV, but like I said, you and I had 2 different experiences. Me was watching them live. You got to rent them, and I sometimes wish I could have seen the stuff to rent because it sounded like it would have been a fun experience, especially to see
I
stuff
always wanted to see it on TV, and I got very little opportunities to see it on TV. So
yeah, yep, 2 different ways. Adam wants to see your shirt, Nathan. What you got? What kind of shirt you got?
Token Razor. Bam.
Yeah.
They're babies.
Where'd you get that? Was it a T Public?
Huh? No.
Was that a T Public?
Oh shit! Where did I get this shirt from?
The dumpster.
I honestly don't remember where I got this shirt from. I want to say maybe it was Electric Zombie who had a web.
That sounds about right.
He had a website just strictly dedicated to it, but then he teamed up with a website called Below the Collar, which I think is an offshoot of 1 Hour Tees and Pro Wrestling Tees, because the website looks very similar. But if I'm not mistaken, this design might be on there. So just look up Below the Collar, Google that, and
it's a cool shirt. It does
check out all his stuff. And NECA started shipping out the Token Razor. Tyler, you went and got yours today, right? I'm still waiting on mine.
They're right in the...
And I think I ordered mine before you, so that doesn't make any sense.
All right.
I don't get to beat Nathan much when it comes to toys, so.
You're always saying that he's finding them or you can't find them.
Oh, he finds them out in the wild, and he orders a whole pallet of it. That's probably why I can't get him, because he's part of the bot problem and shit like that.
Couldn't that be something? He's secretly the scalper that he hates or talks about.
Yeah, he's laughing at Chris Farley eating other people's lunches, laughing.
That's Joe. That's Joe.
Joe does that too.
Exactly. Jason Havlik said, should Jitsu have his own faction of evil warriors? Why or why not? I like Jitsu being by himself. I mean, as his own warrior. I don't want him. Yeah.
I think if they...
I like him loyal to Skeletor. One of those ambitious guys that was like, I can take over Snake Mountain, but ultimately succumbs to never really actually overthrowing Skeletor, but someone that thinks about plotting against him at times, but respects him in the long run. I can't really picture any of the evil warriors as intelligent as some of them are than others. I kind of like them all working with Skeletor, like the image of Skeletor and Jitsu on a mission together. Like that's a badass image, and Jitsu off on his own as well. But he's got to be part of the Evil Warrior Allegiance, man. Got to.
All right.
Good question.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Daniel Carhoonan just had to mention. He said, "Yeah, Joe would be the food tester to avoid the royal family from getting poisoned." Well, thanks a lot.
But it wouldn't work because
I'm sure everyone around the Royal Palace is like, "Hey, I wonder if Joe would eat this for a quarter."
Because I ate garbage, I couldn't get poisoned. That's the thing. Like, test it to see. It's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect him.
That's why they should call Joe Goat Man, because he eats everything a goat would.
Because Nathan, I think you were probably going to say that, like, it wouldn't matter because Joe's like immune to that shit.
Yeah,
they probably killed him.
His stomach is made of steel, so
he
would eat it and be like, "Oh, it's fine," and then they would all eat it and be poisoned immediately.
Yeah, he craps thunder literally just because of all the shit he's put in his stomach.
Look at that. That would be a unique character.
We're doing a lot of Rocky references on this episode tonight.
Yes, and Sportimus wanted to make a reference back to one of the questions that we had about the Christmas thing. Said he thinks Skeletor would make a great host of Christmas Future. Let me see. What else did I get? The question, Gavin the Nerd, question. Another round of which artist would be great at the world of He-Man? Jack Kirby, Norm Brayfogle, Adam Kubert. I don't even know these fuckers, I'll be honest. I didn't mean it.
I like Adam Kubert.
I know Jack
Adam's
Kirby,
very,
but
very
the
good.
other two... I know Jack Kirby, but the other two, I was like, probably didn't even pronounce their names right.
Yeah, Kubert followed up Jim Lee on X-Men. Like that's the one thing always comes to mind when I think of Andy Kubert. I like his work a lot, and I think he did some like some of the X-Men trading cards from 1992. I think like the second or third series of X-Men trading cards, or some of it, I think, with a few other artists. I like his work a lot. So, oh god, yeah, he'd kick ass. He would.
That's
Jack
the sad
Kirby.
thing, there's probably a lot of them I see art, but I probably just didn't know who the hell drew.
Well, some guys know how to draw like menacing villains and heroic, heroes and beautiful women, and Andy did a wonderful job at that. Some guys just phoning in with their cheap, sloppy looking. Like, this looks like someone's layout, and you guys print this as the final look. Like, this looks like dog shit. It does. It's just, God, man.
Well, Sportimus is pretty adamant about a collection video from us coming sometime soon. Jesus Christ, I can't even fucking talk. But I don't know. We'll do that in an upcoming episode where we can just take our tablets and view around to show our collection.
Yeah. Oh, we've done that before, though. Like, Nathan has done it, but me and Joe have done it, or at least I've done it for a long time. I still get too eager about doing it, though. I guess that's kind of why I like to change it up.
Zoom, turn. That's all I'll probably do. But I gotta still fix what's on that side that I never show anybody.
And Joe's got to move the bodies out of the room too. So.
That's what you guys say every time. Did you imagine if there's really some bodies there or just tied up, and you thought it was a?
Imagine Joe's like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho, like taking out bodies. You're like, where did you get that overnight bag, Joe? Jean-Paul Gaultier, and it's just a hand falls out of it, and
ignores it. Dollar Tree, man. He wouldn't have got it from anywhere else. What are you talking about?
Well, I guess if Joe were to say Jean-Paul Gaultier, they were like, okay, Joe, you're lying to me about something. Joe would have to say Dollar Tree or Dollar General or Dollar General Market.
You know what's funny? Some people have questioned, like, Joe, do you really shop at Dollar Tree this much, or is it some bullshit? Yes. It's like, yes, I do, because one person I shipped a package to, I bubble wrapped it all up, taped it down, had it secured, and then around the corners and top, I put, like, Dollar Tree bags just as for extra things on the side. When he opened it, he's like, God damn, Joe, you really do go to Dollar Tree. How many of these bags you got? He was just pulling out bag after bag. So, yes, I really do.
Everything's $1.
I mean, it's a great deal. You know what I found over there recently? I'm going to tell you one more thing. I didn't even know
things for $1.
Yeah, things for $1. There was this thing called pot sticker. I was like, what the hell is a pot sticker?
My God,
and it's supposed to be
Kevin Smith knows what it is.
Yeah, it's supposed to be some kind of like a dumpling, but it has chicken and vegetables and a Chinese thing that you fry. And I seen it there, and there was like 6 of them in a bag for $1. I was like, I gotta just see what these are about. So I bought a bag of those, came home, fried them up in some butter and stuff. God damn, they were good. You got 6 of them for $1. So I went back, got 5 more bags, and those last me out.
Those last them 5 months.
No, they're good though. So if you have your Dollar Tree around, you get something.
It's like a squirrel holding one little lump of food.
Dude,
like this.
I went
scurries away.
No, I went to take the trash down, and you got to think I got to walk a long ways with the trash cans just to get them to the end of the driveway, and I'm hearing this noise, and it's just echo. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's just a squirrel sitting at the tree down there, like just just gnawing on a nut, and I'm like, okay. It was a weird noise. I've never heard that before, but it was just so loud.
I'm glad you went that direction, because for a second it was like you were talking about me, and they're like, I was by the garbage the other day. And I was like, what the hell is this? I thought you were.
And then I thought about Joe.
Joe scurries up the tree.
And anytime I think about garbage, my mind automatically is like, yeah, Joe Amato.
Yeah, when you think of garbage, think of Akeem.
I wish Todd McFarlane had thrown Joe in with like the rest of the bums in Spawn Alley. Like Spawn's up there, and then you see Joe just down there eating like out of a McDonald's.
Is there a
bag or
scene?
Like
there's probably a scene in the animated series or the movie, right, where there's just a bunch of bums in the alleyway. So Grim, Grim, go ahead and Photoshop Joe into one of those and post it on the
or into like any some of the early issues of Spawn. Like we got to get Joe in Spawn Alley.
Curtis Ackerman just said out of nowhere, and I think you see it, Nathan. He said he's laughing. He's like, my wife just said Nathan looks like a white Jesus. He said, I'm dying over here. So,
I mean, I started.
You got the long hair.
It's getting pretty long. This is actually not the longest it's ever been, but it's definitely.
What about your beard?
Oh yeah,
is that the longest?
Yeah, because I've sucked at growing facial hair for so long, so I've just been letting this grow. And
you gonna let more of the sides come underneath your mustache to fill that in,
dude,
or what?
It's just I'm patches over here. Like
What is that? A Quaker or a Mormon? They call it those people that have that long beard but nothing else on the sides or something. Don't they have some weird kind of beard like that?
I think about Angry Amish Roadkill from ECW.
Huh?
Come on,
I knew
Joe.
that was coming when he said.
Joe, you never watched any ECW at all?
Well, I watched. You know what the thing is? I remember seeing some of them when it was early on, when it used to be real hardcore. When it was like, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not fuck with the Dudleys. And that was when they used to be hardcore saying it before when it came to WWF or E at the time. And then they couldn't say the F. But I remembered that anytime they'd come to the ring and there'd be some crazy matches, their theme music would like continue to play through, and it was always weird for me because I was like, this ain't like WWF or WCW where they come to the ring, the theme music stops. This fucking thing just won't end. So I've seen a lot of it, but I just don't know all the characters. So to answer your question, no, I don't know the Amish. What'd you call
Angry
him?
Amish Roadkill. He tag team with Danny Doring. They won the tag. I think they were actually the last original ECW tag champs before the promotion went under. When Vince bought everything and ruined wrestling for the last 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah, because it got rid of competition, it got rid of creativity, and then you're just stuck with one thing, and it started getting so damn watered down. Oh, it's such a shame. At least stuff like AEW is coming around, and it's giving something refreshing. So yeah, I got
to have alternatives, but thanks to Curtis Ackerman's wife, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not, but I'll take it.
You got to be wearing white next week, like some kind of white robe or something to kind of.
Well, Nathan has been inclined to flip over stuff in public places, much like how Jesus did when he was pissed off at people for selling stuff on Sunday. So I can see Nathan doing something like that, going to work, just flip people's tables over. What is this shit,
dude? At work, I'm getting to a point where I'm really having to just chill out for a second. I'm like, you need to think before you do anything. Don't do something stupid. Don't be angry, but just keep it in. Just keep it in. I don't know how.
Well, final question coming to you, Nathan, because people really are asking. You could always do it here on Fans of Power. People would like to see it. They want to know if they're going to see any of the Beyond Retro Arcade or Drunkade or whatever you want to call it.
I think if I'm going to do it, I'm probably going to go to Twitch and stream, because that's sort of the place to stream video games. So I'll probably do that there. I just checked. The Beyond Retro channel has 200 subscribers. I'm like, when did that happen? I haven't looked at that in so long. I looked at it, I'm like, wow, 200? Okay. So,
I thought we had it, but just no one ever watched it.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, two last things. One's a comment, and the other will be the final question. Curtis Aikman, first one to say yes. She said it was a compliment to you. But finally, Sportimus said, what favorite DC or Marvel character would you like to see appear on Eternia as a crossover, as an ally or foe? So he's not meaning of course, that horse shit that we've gotten in comics form. But I don't know, is this something you ever thought about, Tyler? Or is it something that didn't come into your head really?
Not really. I can't just push anybody from Marvel or DC into I just, even when Superman crossed over with Thundercats, I'm like, why? It wasn't a good crossover, but I just thought the idea was I don't quite buy that. It just seems kind of forced and like, I don't know. It just seems somewhat unnecessary. Even with He-Man crossing over Superman, I mean, for the one issue that was okay that DC put out back in the 80s. But other than that, I mean, it had to be like Conan, and Conan's owned by Marvel now or something like that. If I really had to get, if you want something, I'd probably go with Conan, maybe Thor. But that's probably about it. Like, I can't envision just throwing Spider-Man or Captain America or Black Panther or any random or Wolverine. Like, I just can't.
Well, I was gonna say I think I could see Wolverine working a little bit better than most of the other main characters in Marvel, but it just sort of depends on like obviously you wouldn't have him in costume. It would be.
He would be just Logan.
Yeah, he would just be Logan, but.
Which there was like a what if, like, Wolverine and Conan crossed over, and like Wolverine like is in Conan's time, he comes across Red Sonja and thinks it's Jean Grey kind of thing. But it's hard for me to just kind of pick, because I just have a hard time envisioning Marvel and DC crossing over with Eternity, even though it's been done a few times, shitty. But it would probably have to be Thor or. Yeah, probably Thor for them, or Conan first and foremost. Because Conan would be the top choice. Seeing He-Man team up with Conan, because Conan essentially inspired He-Man, so that would be my choice.
Yeah, me, I have nothing. I'm sorry, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. I don't.
Who's
read
Jack
many
Kirby?
comics.
Who's Amish Roadkill? Who's Kevin Smith? He does weed.
Who's hungry?
Oh, sorry. Just something. I got.
He
nothing.
Does the pot.
So, but thanks for. He does the marijuana. What are they?
Yeah,
what
the marijuana.
Marijuana. That's like goddamn. But all right, I think that's it. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was fun having you here in the chat room. And for anybody that's new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified when we go live. And until next time, have a powerful day.
Dick.
That's it.
What did he say, Dick?
Yeah, that's my quote.
Yeah. Dick Tracy.
No.
Could you say it again?
Dick.
God, I have no clue. Let's see if somebody gets in the chat room. JSP is good for usually getting that shit, so we'll wait 20 seconds because there's a delay. He's somebody that might get that.
Can we have a hint?
No. That'd ruin it. Let's just wait. First, let's see if JSP gets it, and then we'll get the hint.
All right.
I'm not seeing. So far, I'm waiting, and we're almost down to our 20-second delay, so if JSP doesn't get it in 5 seconds, we'll get a hint. All right, 5 seconds is up. What's a hint?
Paul Verhoeven directed the movie.
Oh, is it a RoboCop movie now?
Yeah, RoboCop.
Huh.
Okay.
Showgirls?
He said... JSP actually didn't get it. He's like, that.
To Jenna Gershon.
Or when, what's his face, shows his fucking bare ass.
Yeah, Kyle MacLachlan shows his ass.
I'm like, hey man, I'm trying to do things over here. Get out of frame.
This is one of my favorite stories Nathan tells about how he would like streaming like showgirls on really late at night on his computer, like in high school, and he's like, "Oh no, Kyle MacLachlan's ass!"
Guys, thanks, guys.